Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Wealth for Real Facebook Live. It's Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. And I want to talk to you guys about the commercial real estate crash that's on the horizon. Specifically, a really, really good article that I came across and just posted within the last hour to the Facebook feed. So if you're already in the feed, you may have seen it. Or after this live, you can go check it out. And really, like, kind of surprised, of all places, where I found this article that actually had some really good technical detail in it about the commercial crash. And I'll get into that in a second. But it was an article on NewYorkPost.com. And I generally see the New York Post as, a pseudo tabloid at this point with some of the headlines that I pick up on there when I'm just browsing Apple News and stuff like that. So I was a little bit surprised to see this article in there, because it wasn't just like, oh, there's a commercial real estate crash coming, oh my God. It was actually like talking about like maturity dates, like when these commercial real estate loans are going to come due, when all this stuff is going to, come to a reckoning, timing wise and stuff like that. So I didn't expect to see that stuff in there. But anyway, guys, so, before I get into some of the things that were in the article, and I'm not going to remember them point for point or word for word or number for number. You got to go take a look at the article and let me know what you guys think. But generally speaking, this commercial real estate crash is something I just can't, I can't understand why it's not getting more attention. It's like this known quantity that's just sort of like still sort of neglected. It wasn't even in, guys, I posted a video a day or two ago that was queuing off of an article in Fortune, or on Fortune's website, about the 5 economic shocks that we're going to all hit at the same time. And it was talking about things like $100 barrels of oil and 44 million student loan repayments starting up again and things like that. But it didn't really say anything about commercial real estate. Now, in hindsight, I think it was because the commercial real estate crisis is still undecided as to when it's going to hit. But as you'll see in this New York Post article, there's some belief that it's going to be in 2024. And even if it wasn't until 2025, some of these things that were in the Fortune article don't look like they're going to happen until 2025 either, or don't look like they're going to, necessarily come to fruition in 2023. I'll say it that way. So it's just a little bit strange how this subject's being treated. And it just, I don't know. I mean, like, I just don't see, I mean, it's not like I haven't seen anything on it. It's just that the alarm bells are like kind of at a low volume. And yet it's like the math is already cooked into the books. Like it's really, really ugly. So speaking of that, you go into the New York Post article and you look at some of the numbers in there. First of all, they say in the article that there's $1.5 trillion in outstanding commercial real estate loans. Now, that may have been caveated or qualified somehow that I'm not remembering, but the number seems about the right scale. I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars and you're off by like a number. That's a really big scale. But what the reason I say that, guys, is I'd recently done a Google search because I was trying to figure out like how much, when banks start to fail over the commercial real estate crisis, how much are the banks going to have to get bailed out? So I think I Googled like how much commercial real estate loans are on the books in the U.S. banking system, like, because I was trying to figure out like what kind of check would the Federal Reserve have to cut, and I got $3 trillion when I Googled that. But in the New York Post article, it said $1.5 trillion. Now we're still talking like, low single-digit trillions, but you could really make an argument there's a big difference between $1.5 and $3 trillion. It's a trillion and a half, right? So it just depends on how you look at it. But anyway, guys, so that was one number in there, the $1.5 trillion figure. Then, excuse me, guys, just have to do a little traffic weaving. So that number was one of them. Another set of numbers in there was just talking about like how much is coming due this year. Okay, now the two big years that I've heard are 2025, 2027, but it had the number for how much was coming due in 2023, and I think it was like 720 billion. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, guys. Like that's like a large sum of money when you're talking about, you know, loans defaulting and banks having to swallow that kind of thing, especially if you're a fairly small bank compared to the behemoths, right? That's a lot of fucking money to swallow, right? So anyway, so that was a number that kind of jumped out at me because I'd never seen that number before, specifically for 2023. And then let's see, what else did they have in there? The other thing that was interesting is they were saying like people estimating when the tsunami begins, like when the disastrous part of this whole thing, like the bottom drops out of it and everything goes bad. And I think the highest percentile guess, like 44%, guessed that that it would be the last 6 months of 2024 that things would really crest, and we would have a real explosion in this whole situation. And then, you know, decent number of people said like first half of 2024, and then a small number of people said last portion of 2023. It was just interesting to see where people were kind of prognosticating this thing. But you know, regardless, I think the takeaway that I keep coming back to every time I read about this subject is that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So, you know, it's like, who cares if it happens in 2024 or 2025? Like, if you understand what's at stake and you generally prepare yourself, well, then whenever it happens, you'll basically be ready for it. So that's kind of how I view it, guys. It's really, really depressing. I mean, it looks like another massive time bomb. Oh, excuse me, guys. Jeez, long day. It looks like another massive time bomb is going to go off in the U.S. economy, maybe, you know, obviously global economy around that time frame. So, again, guys, if you know, just to recap, look below this post, the one right before it. I posted the New York Post article on the commercial real estate crash, the coming crash, and you guys can take a look at it there and let me know what your thoughts are on it, either underneath that post or here on the live, underneath this live video. But man, it looks real bad. It looks really, really bad. I mean, these are some of the starkest numbers that I've come across on, you know, the scope, the scale, the timing, the years, the maturities of these commercial real estate loans. I think, oh yeah, that was the other staggering figure. It said by 2030, pretty sure I got this number right and this year right. By 2030, there was an estimate that there could be 1 billion square feet of empty commercial real estate property. Just empty buildings, just sitting there doing nothing. You know, 1 billion square feet. That is absolutely staggering. Staggering. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about the article. Let me know what you guys think about the commercial real estate crash, what you're seeing, how you're preparing for it, what are you doing about it, where are you trying to move your chips before the big one hits on that, assuming something bigger doesn't hit sooner. But anyway, until next time, guys, I really appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and we'll check in with you guys again real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.